Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Honey, We're Home. We are so excited. We're in the studio with a very exciting guest that we've been talking about on every single episode. So we're excited she's finally here. We have Christy, Party of Six. We met at this event this past summer. Christy basically got on this bus for this event that we were going to in the Hamptons. Sounds so bougie. And immediately I was just drawn to you. Like, you have a glow about you. And then I was like, who's this chic, cool girl? She looks like she's 20 freaking 2.
Truly.
And then I'm like, tell me about yourself. I immediately get up from where I'm sitting on the bus. I go to where Christy's sitting. I plop down. I'm like, tell me about you. I want what you're having. Tell me what you are. And she was like, I have 4 kids. I spit out my coffee.
No, really, you did.
And I was like,
we were shocked.
And I said, when I launch the podcast with Caroline, you're coming on.
You did?
Yeah. So
here we are.
Here we are. How are you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much. It was
Yes.
so fun.
Okay, so you just announced your pregnancy.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So
Literally
this
yesterday.
is like perfect timing because I announced yesterday and now I can come talk about it today.
The
Wow.
timing could not be more aligned.
Yeah.
How are you feeling with that?
Feeling physically terrible. Like it's just the first trimester and I throw up every day. But feeling overall just so thankful. We're so excited. We're so thankful. And yeah, we just can't wait.
You announced in these amazing videos on your TikTok. You kept us hanging. There was a part 1.
You did.
She does that on her videos.
But I love
too.
her first comment is like, don't hate me. Like, it's
I know. I knew everyone was going to be so mad. But I'm like, you guys, you know I do this. Like, important videos, I break up into several parts. So I'm like, it's coming. I promise. I won't make you wait too long. But
yeah. Well, and so you guys were trying for this.
Yeah. So yes and no. So this is what happened.
Okay.
We said we were done for a really long time. We were like, we're done. But then it just like was not sitting right. Like we just kept bringing it up and we're like, wait, are we done? We're like, yeah, we're done. And then we'd be like, okay, we're done. Like done. And then we'd still like think about it all the time, talk about it all the time. I'm like, I feel like if we were done, we wouldn't be having these feelings.
like something didn't feel quite complete.
Yeah. Like I'm like, we kept saying we were done and people would ask us like, oh, are you guys done? Are you having more? We're like, we're done. But even saying it, I was like, are we done? Like, so then finally this fall we were like, well, let's just give it to God. And we're not going to prevent anything, but we're not going to like actively try. We're just going to live life as normal and we're not going to prevent. And then I got pregnant.
Wow. So it was meant to be.
Yeah. So that's how we feel. We just feel like, it's just like this little blessing from God and it was meant to be. And for so long we were preventing it. And then when we stopped and we were like, okay, whatever is supposed to happen, then it like came very quickly.
I am a firm believer that like the souls that are to make up your family, like they're already out there. They're just like waiting to come to you.
Soul baby, right?
Yeah.
Soul baby?
We've talked about this before.
Baby. That's a thing.
We've talked about spirit babies, but we've talked about soul babies where I'm like, they're already there for you. Like, and they will come to you. And so you do just have to like be intuitive about like, okay, you can set a goal. Yeah. And then if there are more to come.
Yeah. Well, and you're just like meant to be a mom. Like it's clear just from like knowing you, meeting you one time. Like you're an amazing mom. You're an amazing person. You can just tell. Like God's like, she needs another.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into like I want to hear all about your family dynamic, your 4 kids. I know they're not all fully whatever.
Yep, we're a blended family.
We're blended family. Perfect word.
Yep.
But before we jump into that, quick context, because you've grown this amazing presence on TikTok. Why did you start posting on TikTok and how like it's grown so fast?
Yeah, it did grow very fast. I don't know. I feel like it was also like very inspired. I felt like because I was a mom with a lot of kids living in a big city, which is not super common. You don't meet a lot of people with big families living in the city because it definitely has its challenges. And so I felt like that was like pretty rare. And then I felt like because we're a blended family, because we co-parent, because like I just was like, I think we're like kind of interesting. Like I think this might be interesting for people to watch and see and kind of see like the day in the life of a New York City mom. And so I just started posting. Like, I just started like creating videos of my day. I would just take little videos of what I was doing and then put it together at the end of the day. I also show, like, not all the time, but when I first started, like, how much it costs to live in New York City. And that was like, that's what like grew my following so quickly, because people are nosy and people like to see like, oh, like, how much does a coffee cost compared to where I live? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, or whatever, a hair appointment or whatever it may be. And so I think it just piqued, like, the combination of all of that piqued people's interest. And so it grew quickly.
That's exciting. Okay, so you are a mom of 4 kids. Tell us a little bit about like your family dynamic. And I also am the oldest of 4, blended family.
Oh my gosh.
So I absolutely love it. I'm so intrigued by all of this. Like, as a kid of that, I'm like, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. So we just want to hear more about like your entire dynamic, like what it is.
Okay, so I got married really young, like really, really young. And I had my son, and then I got divorced. So married young, had a baby, got divorced. So our oldest, Diesel, he will be 12 next week, and he's mine.
Okay.
And then David, my husband, he had a little one night stand. And
I remember you.
I try and like tiptoe, but that's just what it is. And he's so good about it. He's like, that's what it is. Like, that's what happened. And
you rarely hear about
that. So we're just pretty honest about that.
No, sometimes you go to say something and you see your like life flash before your eyes, because you're like, is there another way to say this?
I know. Unfortunately, there's just like not. That's just what happened.
So he was never married?
No, not even like in a relationship. Didn't know the girl.
Oh, I lied to you.
Oh my
I was like, I
gosh.
think he was married and she was
Wait,
married.
and I do have to say, like, and so terrible, but like such a blessing that he even like got involved and like knows about it all, because like so many people would not.
I know.
That was
like
olive
one
branch.
of the biggest things when I met him, and at first when I found out he had like a literal newborn, I was like, wait, what?
Wait, so when you guys met, he had a newborn?
Yeah.
And he always was like super involved.
Diesel when you guys
he had just turned 3.
Okay.
He was 2, almost 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was 2, almost 3. So, and then David had a newborn. So I was like, wait, what? Where's the baby mama? Like, what's the story?
Yeah.
And he like told me the whole story, and I was like, oh my gosh, because he had like every chance to walk away. Like every chance to walk away. She did not make it easy for him to be in his son's life. He had to like lawyer up and like fight to be in that baby's life.
Wow, I have chills.
Yeah. And so when he like told me all that, I was like, you are a great guy. Like, this is huge. Because so many guys would just be like, okay, the mom doesn't want me in the kid's life. Like, okay.
And it's so sad that that's like the bar is physically so low. Like that in itself is just disappointing. Yeah. But like, to be fair, like it is easier for the guy to walk away. So to say, like, even to the point where like I'm gonna lawyer up because like things happen and this happened and now like this is how we're gonna handle it, like does speak a lot about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So very early on I was like, wow, like this says so much about who he is as a person, a father, his character. And so although it was like a little messy to start dating someone with a newborn, you know, and I had this toddler, like it just it was what it was. Yeah. So we got married and blended our little family. And it was so special. The boys had like this instant connection, my son and his son, and they just were like brothers right away. Just so sweet. And then we were married for a little over a year and then got pregnant with our daughter. And
Sissy.
then,
So cute.
I love that name.
So cute.
Girl.
Is that her real name?
No.
Okay.
I love that as a nickname.
No.
It's
But you always refer.
Because I don't say the younger two. I don't say their names on social media.
That's a great question also that we had for later. Sort of like the balance of like having your kids online, but saying like, I'm not going to say your real name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Is that just to protect like their privacy?
Yeah. So it's to protect their privacy. And I feel like when we're out and about in the city, people come up to me all the time and recognize me and want to do pictures. And I love that. I love meeting like my besties. But also I don't want to be at a park and have someone like come up to my child and be like, oh, and say their name. And it's just like they don't quite understand stranger danger. Yeah. Like the older boys understand. Like if someone came up and was like, hey, Diesel, like Diesel would be like, I don't know you. This is weird. But like my 3-year-old, if someone's like, oh, hey, so-and-so, like, you know, it's for
weird
their.
In New York, too, really a great point because it is such an overly populated city and like everything you do is around thousands of people and like kids do have their independence, but like like if your child is used to socializing with people and like used to seeing like strangers all around but doesn't quite understand how dangerous it could be, like that is such an aspect.
And you're just very like approachable and you show your whole life there, so people probably feel like they can be inclined to come up and say hi to the kids,
which I love that. But when people do come up, I never let them like take photos or videos with the kids. I'm like, you can take a photo with me or whatever, but I just want to, it's a very like fine balance with having your kids online, but
Has
also
someone
protecting their
to take photos with the
privacy.
kids?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, the kids can get in the video. I'm like, oh, no, that's okay.
I don't know
so
why,
much.
like something goes off inside my body where I'm like, why?
Yeah, I'm like, no, like that's okay. Like we, you know, like we can take
we'll
a video,
do it.
But,
okay, so when your daughter was born, did it create like an extra bond between your boys? Like, do you think it brought everybody closer?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think one, because she was the first girl, so the boys were so excited to have a little sister, and then two, it was like David and I, it was our child together that was really like our little love baby, you know what I mean? And so it was so special. And then the boys, like, I feel like it really secured like the family unit as a whole, instead of like mine, yours, we're, you know, doing this balance of like blending it all together, but it really like secured.
It's like the glue. I do have that feeling about my sister Sarah. Oh, I'm the oldest of 4, and the first child of like my parents together was Sarah, and I did, as a sibling, like I had that distinct feeling when she was born. I was like, oh, she glued us.
Oh, I love that.
So I always think that.
Well, and I feel like
so much.
in your situation, it's so fun because like you always post that you get to bond with Sissy. Like she's the one girl. Like if I were her, I would be like,
oh yeah, my life is
best
golden.
life with 3 brothers.
It's so special. Like the bond that her and I have is so special because she's so girly. She loves all the girly things. But then because she has 3 brothers, like she can hang with the boys, and she's tough.
Can tell she's feisty.
And she's feisty. She holds her own.
I'm voting for Sissy for president one day.
Yeah, Sissy for president. Also, like, wow, like you could either have a girl or a boy this time.
Yeah.
Thinking about
That's what I was going to ask. Do we know?
We don't know.
No, Will you find out?
Yeah, we're going to find out.
Are you hoping for one? Be honest.
I truly am not at all.
Like, you know how people are like, just a healthy baby. I'm
no, we're like, we know a healthy baby.
I would love a girl for Sissy because I am so close with my sister. Like, my sister and I are best friends, and so I want that for her. But at the same time, not all sisters are best friends. You know what I mean? Right. You can have a sister and not be close with them. Yeah. And she's been the only girl for so long. So she's like, she wants a sister so bad. She's like, I hope it's a girl. I want a sister. But I'm like, do you really? Because it will change the dynamic for her. Yeah. Because she's our little like family princess. Yeah. And so I don't know. I think it's a boy. Okay. Like if I had to say, I do feel like it's a boy, but I would love a girl. I would love a boy. Like we really don't care because David and I have a boy and a girl together.
Yes.
And so.
Yeah, that's true.
What would you do if it was twins?
Well,
imagine.
I cannot imagine. Luckily, we've had 2 ultrasounds already, and there's just one in there.
Okay.
But I do know that
like
sometimes
Nikki and I have never been pregnant,
hide.
so we're just like, couldn't you just find out at 8 months? Like,
we don't know. Like what's the timeline? Wait, so okay, you're about to be Christy Party of 7. Are you gonna change? You're gonna
change your handle?
No, that's like the big thing.
You have to.
I said I was not. I told David, I'm like, I'm not changing my name. Like the brand is established.
Yeah.
I'm not changing it. But then also now everyone's like Christy Party of 7 on all the comments, and I'm like, I guess I kind of have
now.
To, right?
It's not as bad when you change it. I forever was like, I'm not going to change it when I added my husband's name onto mine when we got married. And then everyone started referring to me as that. So I was like, okay, so I guess it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't love the number 7. Like I like even numbers like 6, 8, so you know. So
no, I have a friend that says you're like either an evens person or an odds person.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm an odds.
You are?
Because I want 3.
Okay.
And I'm one of 3.
Okay.
I don't know what I am. I like even numbers, but my friend tells me that I'm like an odd, like I give the energy of like an odd person. So we'll see.
I love the even numbers. So
you give even energy though.
Yeah. I'm a Libra, so it's like all about the balance.
Oh,
you know?
I love that. Okay, so we do have a question from the audience. It was, how did your kids react when you told them?
Oh my gosh, they were so excited. It was honestly the best thing ever. We told them all individually because I wanted them to be able to have their own reaction without like their sibling, like trying to respond how their siblings were responding, you know? I wanted like a special moment with each of them. So
Did
we
you
told
film
them
it
separately.
or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can't wait for that.
Yes, we did. And they all were just so excited. They were
you guys
so
just have the
excited.
most fun life. Like, truly watching your content, I'm like, it gives me the biggest case of baby fever. I literally shove my phone in Mike's face, and I'm like, look how fun, look how much fun they're all having. Like, you guys are truly such a close family unit.
Really
you have your
family.
Friday pizza nights. You have these amazing traditions.
Yeah.
Like, what other, like, stuff do you do together like that just like brings you closer together?
I think that we genuinely like love to be together. Like David and I love to be together. You know, there's some people who like can't wait to go do like guys nights or girls nights, and like that's great and that's fun, but like we would rather be with each other than anyone else. And so I feel like our kids feel like that too. Like our oldest, he loves to hang out with his friends, but like he also loves being with our family. Like we just love being together, and we do have our traditions. So like you said, every Friday we do pizza and a movie. Every Sunday we do church and bagels, and then throughout the week we have, you know, like our specific little things that.
And I think like doing traditions like that, you're showing the world like it doesn't have to be you don't have to go to the opera every Friday night. You can do pizza, you could do bagels. That could be a affordable family tradition that your kids clearly love. And on that note, our literal biggest question from the audience was, how the fuck do you afford? And I remember meeting you, and I remember being like, I was like maybe tipsy at this point, who knows, probably.
We got the Hamptons. That was, You
and I really opened up. You also had me like opening up to you about we'll talk about this later in life, but I literally took a pregnancy test with Christy after meeting her for 5 seconds. Oh my God. It was crazy. It was negative.
We gotta go buy one. We like stopped at a random tiny gas station. I was like, you have to buy one. Like, you were like, okay, we took it.
But were you like multiple Aperol spritzes in?
It was a bonding moment.
It was a bonding moment. But you need to be like a therapist in your next life with all the free time you have, because you made me feel open to doing that. But back to the question, everybody needs to know, like, how, you guys clearly do well, and don't be ashamed of that. Like, it's expensive to live here with 0 kids.
Yeah.
How do you do it with 4, almost 5?
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, New York City is so expensive. I mean, just like taking our family to dinner, and not even like, like a fancy dinner, just like dinner, dinner at like a local spot. It's like $300. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
I mean? It's just everything. School is so expensive. Like all my kids' extracurriculars, like everything here is like double or triple what it is anywhere else. It's a lot. It's so expensive. It honestly, like at the end of the month when we go over everything we spent, we're like, oh my god,
it's like terrible.
And
you like have that experience of like you weren't always in the city,
right?
So like what that comparison of like what it was,
right, to what it is now.
When you go, you guys have the house in Utah.
We do. Yep.
When you do go there, is it just like way more affordable?
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh,
this is a
we
vacation
spend like
from our
nothing. Like we're in Utah and we spend nothing when we're there.
Too.
We have so much space. Our home is it's a big house. We have a lot of space, and we pay pennies compared to what we pay here in the city.
It's the New York Delulu.
My husband has invested really well. I mean, he has a great job. He's the chief revenue officer of a multi-billion-dollar company.
David.
So he does well, but he's always worked his ass off.
Yeah, I was going to say, David definitely has to be a hard worker.
Worked since he was 14 years old.
I don't even know David, and I'm inspired by him. This is insane.
Yeah, he's amazing. So he grew up in poverty. He grew up in like subsidized housing on food stamps, like with a single family home. Just his dad left, and it was just his mom, and he had 2 other siblings, and so he knew from a young age that that's what he didn't want. He wanted the opposite of the childhood that he had. And so he has literally worked his ass off every day since. And he's been very smart with the money that he's made. He's been really smart with investments and real estate. And so that's how we're
I mean, that's nice. It is, I will say, like, besides being like great fun content, like, it is very aspirational, especially in, like, I'm sure you have a large New York City audience, like that kind of thing where you watch someone's content and you're like, oh, I don't have a kid yet, but like I still love watching this, because I think some of the fear that like lives in a lot of our minds, especially like newly married in the city, of like, how do you make it work with a kid? And then to like see people like not only making it work, but like
thriving.
Yes, and being extremely joyful and like gracious and having a close-knit family, and like you take your kids to like all of their sporting activities and like you go out to eat together, and like even like you said, like church and bagels, like it is aspirational in that way to say like you might get down sometimes thinking about all the ways that it could go wrong to like take that leap and like have a kid, and to watch content like yours is so joyful in that nature, because this is like right, but look at like all the joy that it could bring you.
And like just you both have the best perspective in your content too, like going off of that, you're just like even the little things, like it's freezing cold today, but it's okay, we bundled up, like you said that reason, like you're taking New York City can beat you the fuck down. And you are taking it and like taking the like seeing it in a positive light, which I think
just making the best of any situation. And I feel like David and I both are pretty positive people, and so we're trying to instill that in our kids. And sometimes it's hard. They're like, no, it's cold, we don't want to go out, or and we're like, no, like let's bundle up and no one will be in Central Park, we'll have the whole park to ourselves.
Oh, so you're like
you know what I mean?
It's
like
a mindset.
It's mindset for sure. We're trying to create little positive people,
So what do you do? Because like being in New York, I know you shared recently that like January is not your month.
Oh yeah,
mine neither.
January is not it for me, and so I'm trying so hard, but with being sick, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hibernate. My doorman the other day was like, where have you been?
You're like,
I was like hibernating.
In a cave,
hibernating.
Logistically, do your guys' apartment, how many bedrooms is it?
So we have 3 bedrooms in our apartment, and our apartment, I love it so much. It's so beautiful, and we have the most amazing view, and it's new and it's nice, but we're gonna need a bigger apartment.
I was just gonna ask you.
We're gonna need
like
a
that
apartment.
That's part of the thing too. Like I think sometimes like in other areas of the country, like you buy a house that you can grow into.
Totally.
In New York, like no, like
we definitely cannot grow into our apartment. It was tiny to begin with when we moved here, and we were like bursting at the seams as is. But
you grow out of something and then you move in New York. I think
like
exactly.
Totally.
Do you get a lot of questions like logistically? Where do you keep the stuff? Like, do you guys have a storage?
Yeah, no, we don't.
Really?
Okay, so I guess our storage unit is our house in
Utah.
Like
I was just gonna say,
everything there for the most part. We only brought to New York like things that we use every single day.
Okay.
Things we use every single day, like the necessities. That's what we brought.
Where are the strollers?
So our building, building has a whole like bike room, and so we keep like all the bikes and the strollers and like all the wagons, all that down there. The trikes, like all the outside stuff, we're able to store down there, which is huge.
Does that make finding an apartment harder? Like when you need that kind of like, okay, we need a little extra storage and we need.
Yeah. I feel like we got so lucky with our building because it literally checked every box for us. Like every box. Like we love our building, but it's small. We have the biggest apartment in our building. Like we have the absolute biggest apartment in our entire building.
And it's still too small for a family of 7.
Right, well that's why. Yeah, everything's
so we'll be on the hunt for a bigger apartment.
Well, you clearly have so much going on. Apartment hunting, pregnant. David, I'm assuming, works constidly.
Yes.
Or not constantly, but a lot.
No, I'm sure.
CRO.
Yeah, he works
You're busy as all hell. We're dragging you to Midtown.
I know.
And the podcast.
I know. I love it.
So, do you have help? Like, do you hire a nanny?
I do have help. Okay. I definitely have help. I have help. I have a house cleaner who comes like 2 to 3 times a week.
So do I, and I have 0 kids.
Yeah, I have a chef who cooks for us.
That's
you
so
do?
nice.
Which I've never admitted except for now.
Oh my God. Exclusive.
Wait, this is great though because it's realistic. Like it's realistic.
Christy, I always tell people, I'm like, do not be ashamed of talking about what help. We did
the whole episode of this. We were like, stop it. Like, stop making people feel bad about. that's how you want to spend your money.
Yeah. Once I started making money from TikTok and sponsor deals and all that, it was just too much. Like I was running a full-time content creator business while taking care of my kids, and David was working a ton, and we just looked into like a private chef and the logistics and what it would look like and how much it would cost, and honestly it was way less than I thought it would be.
Okay.
So she comes like once or twice a week, and she will make like enough meals for like 3 or 4 days.
That's so nice.
And then they're all like, my fridge is just full of our meals, and then I just put them in the oven, and
that's so nice.
It's so nice because honestly I think we save money. I think we save money that way.
I was just gonna say, because like
Truly.
the thing is it like, okay, you say whatever you want to say about a private chef, but we've had this conversation on here before where we're like, I don't want to cook, you don't want to cook. When it's just two people, it's easy to just say, well, when you get off of work, like we'll go to dinner.
Yeah,
when you have 4 kids, that's already not a financially responsible decision.
Right.
Like you can't just do that 3 to 4 times a week.
Right.
B, like you have sports schedules, you have homework schedules, you have multiple people's work schedules. Like you can't just like change your routine every single night.
Yeah. It's been so nice, and it's created like those family dinners, which I love. And I think is so important when you have children to establish like family dinner. Like we do family dinner almost every single night, and we talk about our days and the highs and the lows and how we help people.
That sounds so fun.
Like it's
like I want to join.
I think please
can
me too. Come on over. Why not? Party of 9.
This is like our vibe.
No, that's like you're confirming that like I'm ready. No, stop it.
Yes, you are ready.
No, literally Mike was, when we were together, Mike was sending like, he was like taking Louis to the park and like splashing around in a little kiddie pool with Louis, and she was like, holy shit, you guys.
Yeah, I was like, you need a baby. You need a child. You guys are the best dog parents in the world. You need a child.
We need to make a video about that.
You guys slept on the floor of the vet's office. That's okay. You
ready
can
for
do that. You can handle a child for sure.
Okay, that's reassuring.
For sure. But so it's super helpful, and I truly, I feel like we're saving money, we're eating healthier, and it's been so helpful. As far as a nanny, I don't have a full-time nanny. I do not. I have a nanny who she will do a couple afternoons a week. So like Sissy has a really busy dance and gymnastics schedule, and I don't always want to drag my youngest there to the dance studio with me, and so he'll go do like play dates with our nanny. Will take him and do play dates and go to the park, and it's better for him. Yeah. And then she does every Saturday she does date nights. But David and I will like have dinner with the kids, put them to bed, and then she comes, and then David and I.
So this was also one of our questions, which is like we can all talk about like what we think we're gonna do in our relationship to like keep our relationship close and like set aside time for ourselves when we don't have kids. Then it's like maybe okay, you have 1 kid and you find something sustainable. But you have such a unique perspective on this because you are 4 kids in fully, almost a 5th. What has been the most sustainable way for you and David to like keep your relationship tight and get that like time together?
Yeah, I would say date night for sure, because when we're around the kids, it's really easy to get pulled away. Like the kids are like wanting to wrestle with him or like talk with me, or like they're really needy. They want our attention. And we want to give that to them. So removing ourselves from the kids and really just focusing on that time to reconnect, to laugh, to have fun, to get dressed up, to go out. Like I think date night is crucial, and that's why since David and I have been married, like we have had a standing date night for the last 9 years. Like we have had a date night no matter what for 9 years.
How rigid are
like
you with
every
it too?
week?
Because
oh my God, I really love this.
Week.
Every single week.
No matter what.
Yeah. Like I've heard it's important to, and this is something I'm constantly trying to improve on. It's important to like actually treat it as like a scheduled calendar event. Like,
it absolutely is.
Even this weekend, Mike and I are doing date night Saturday night, and my one friend was asking me to like do a girls' night, and I was like, shoot, okay, maybe let me try to move my date night with Mike to the day so I can do. But then I was like, you know what? No, like what?
Just say
then
no,
I'm ditching my husband.
Totally.
Like
I think that's a learning lesson, being like, especially when all of your friends aren't married yet, is like, it's okay for me to say no so that I can hang out with my husband.
For sure.
Right.
Like there's nothing, like there's no shame in that. Like
no.
all my friends know that my husband is my favorite person in the world, and that's who I'd rather hang out
that
with.
is my best friend.
And I don't make feel,
I'm never going to neglect that relationship, and I'm not going to feel bad for not neglecting it. And I do have to remember with friends that maybe aren't married yet that, like, one day when they are married, they'll do the same thing.
Totally. They'll understand. Yeah. They'll get it.
Yeah.
Right now they don't, but they will.
Eventually, yeah.
So, standing date night, I think has been
I love that.
You and David, too, I've noticed faith is a huge part of your relationship. You're Catholic, right?
We're Christian.
Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. I never know. I'm literally
Wait,
Catholic.
do you think that I'm Catholic?
I don't know the difference. I genuinely don't know the difference in religion. Come at me if you want. I was raised Catholic, but like out of all the Christians in this room, I'm the least. Like Mike and I just don't go to church as much as we want to / never. But I'm inspired, and after this, I'm gonna go. So. Yes. Is that would you say like a big part of your family and your
absolutely huge? We instill that in our kids, like God first, and that literally everything we have has come from God, and we have to be thankful and give back, and because we've been so blessed, we need to bless others. And I think when you have that like grateful, thankful mindset, like there is someone bigger than you, you know what I mean? I think it really grounds you, humbles you, and I think it just really like connects everyone, and we all like have a bigger purpose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we teach that to our kids, and David and I always try, and we always say our relationship is me and God and David, like it's the three of us,
Oh, I said that too when we got married.
Yeah, and the decisions that we make, and just how we live our life, and the people that we are. And so I think, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like what's your secret, or how do you, why are you guys like so happy or so like healthy or whatever. And truly, I think it's because we have given like all things
all the
to
successful
God.
people are like, go to church. I'm sorry. It's just a scientific fact. So
I'm not going to I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But
I think when you just have something bigger than you, because it's so easy to
even
be like,
a universal force.
Like I am whatever. It's like, no, there's something so
there's
much
more
bigger.
going on.
I do have a question, vulnerability wise. Like, do you feel like having that faith together, having that same foundation has played a huge part in how you guys have gotten through like a difficult time or like a transition in life?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Because it gives you something else to lean on. You know what I mean? To lean on that this is God's plan, or everything happens for a reason, or this was supposed to happen, or you know what I mean? And you lean on that faith, that higher power, that, you know what I mean? So I think 100% having that makes your life easier.
Totally.
I think it does.
Especially with like death. You
even
like to know that like there's a heaven. Like that's what keeps me
for
going.
you.
For sure.
It's like you don't want to think that your loved ones
just
are like
nothing.
But when you find that with your partner where you like share that same belief, it's like even though two people might cope with something very differently, like there is a joint belief in something.
Yeah, that like common ground where you both know there's more.
And you can always go, like, there are just processes through like going through something hard or grief where you're like, I experienced something today that I would call like a God thing, or like I had this realization about like moving forward and moving on, and you want to be able to share that with your partner, that like they're not gonna laugh at you.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think when you're raising kids to have that same foundation and those same beliefs, I think it's just easier. It just makes it easier because my kids see both David and I making a huge effort every Sunday to get everyone up, to get to church. They see us like openly worshiping and praying, and so then they feel comfortable to worship and pray and feel like, oh yeah, like it's not just like, oh yeah, my mom prays, but my dad doesn't. You know what I mean?
My favorite is Sissy being like in the Sunday fit checks, like Jesus in the heart. I know, I love it. It's so cute. Like I don't care if you're not even like Catholic or Christian or whatever. Like I'm gonna adopt the Jesus in the heart.
Well, Nicole and I were talking about this the other day. I was like, how funny must it be to like be a parent, because like your kid must do some like insanely funny things sometimes, and like sometimes you want to be like, wow, that's really sweet. Sometimes you're like, no, like don't do that, and then you're like, but that was funny.
It's so funny. Oh, the things that my kids say and do, I'm like, where did you come from? You are like, they're just
Which
so
one is like
funny.
the one that's going to be like the funniest, the attention, like middle child?
Yes,
syndrome?
so Sissy is definitely the most like attention seeking. She'll do anything for attention. She loves. She
Me and Sissy are kindred
yes,
spirits.
you guys are. She just like loves all eyes on her. She's a performer. She just loves it. But our youngest, who we call Baby, which we can't call him Baby anymore because there will be a baby.
You
People
can
are
still call
already
him
like,
Baby.
wait, yeah, like Baby. What's Baby's name gonna be now? He is like hilarious without trying. Like he is just
there
funny.
we go.
Like he is so funny, but he is not like trying to steal the show or trying to like. He just is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then
Those ones are lethal.
That like makes being a parent such a joy though, because you're like, you can laugh with your husband about that later, even
Totally.
if you
Like we made that. Like
I know. Like what? And then our oldest, he's a performer as well. He actually goes to a performing arts school here in the city, and so he is like we've got a lot of performers. We've got, and then our middle Nixon, he is our athlete. He like lives and breathes sports, and he's so good at sports. So they all like have their own thing.
That's kind of cool.
Is really fun and really cool. And
that's the beauty of New York City too. Like Diesel can be in acting classes and like pursue that dream versus like if you were in Utah, I don't know if they would have.
No, he would not have anywhere near the opportunities that he has here.
Okay,
I mean, like not even.
That leads us to one of our things that we wanted to talk about, which is like the pros and cons of having the kids in the city. So like obviously one of them being like Diesel has more opportunities to like do things that he loves.
Yes.
Like what is your take on this?
Yeah, so I think the thing that we love the most is the culture and the diversity, because we came from Utah where everyone looks the same, is the same religion, like it's just like it's the same. And so my kids came here and they had friends who celebrated all different holidays and all different cultures and all different ethnicities and backgrounds. And I think it's so important to give your kids like that experience. So that's like one of the things I love the most is just they can learn so much from other people. And I just think the culture is amazing here. And then, the opportunities are unlike anywhere else. I mean, unlike anywhere else. The fact that Diesel can go to one of the best performing arts schools in the country. And it's just like that opportunity. He works so hard for it, but the fact that he even has that opportunity and it's because we live here. You know, and I think just the kids experiencing a different way of life. Like not a lot of kids will experience growing up in a huge city, and so it's just a different experience for them. And I think it's just really invaluable. Like end of the day when we're like, oh, we're spending so much money to live here, but I'm like, but look at the experiences that our kids have.
Do you like what's buying you extremely valuable experiences?
For sure.
Yeah.
That they'll take with them forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they'll truly be better, more well-rounded people as they go into adulthood because they had the experience of living here.
Think about like being a young kid, you would learn so much just from solely people watching in Central Park.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
You learn maybe too much.
Yes.
Well, that's that brings us.
Yeah, what do you do when you feel like your kids are around a situation like maybe on the subway or something? You're like, okay, not today. You're not going to see that today.
So we have a code word.
Okay.
Oh.
And if I say the code word, my kids know, like, get close to mom, and we're leaving the situation.
Smart.
Can you say the code or no?
I feel
no. I mean, it's just like a random. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, but my kids
like
know.
Pineapple.
Did you sit
literally,
them?
that's the word.
Oh
Wait, no, it's not. Wait, no, that's psycho. That's clairvoyant.
No.
You guys, I've told you I'm clairvoyant.
Pineapple. Yeah.
No, okay, pineapple.
So
is
my
everybody's
kids know. So
No,
if we're like on the street and they're like have their scooters or they're a little bit ahead of me or whatever, and I'm like, oh hey guys, pineapple.
Yeah.
They know immediately. Like get to mom, and we're figuring out a different path or plan.
Even
or
with baby, like does he? How did you like sit down and explain this to him, like so that he could like fully understand what you were saying?
Yeah. So we had a scary situation. I think maybe the first summer we lived here, we had a scary situation on the subway.
Okay.
And I was
what
just
was
like,
it?
okay, this can never happen again.
Okay.
We got followed for like a really long time by like a really scary big guy who was like very clearly like stalking us, following us. Like,
Yeah.
Was it all
really
of you?
scary. It was me and the kids.
That's what I was going to say, because it's not even like you have two parents that can like each grab two.
My girlfriend and her son, and but it was.
Oh my God, so
scary.
many kids, and like, oh God.
It was so scary.
And without David.
Without David, and I had both my kids like buckled into their double strollers. So I was like literally just down on the subway platform, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I went to get in the elevator to go up, and he followed us, and so I couldn't. You can't get into the elevator with a person who's
no, you can't.
So I like backed out of the elevator. Anyway, I found someone to help me. I found a couple guys, and I was like, I'm being followed. I need help. One of them called the police. One of them helped me out. But I was
because you like need to get up the stairs at that point. It's like you can't run.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how are we gonna figure this out? So I just like, we also play this game with our kids called What Would You Do?
Okay.
And we give them just like any scenario you could think of. We'll be like, what would you do if, and we'll like tell them a scenario, and then they have to like talk their way through it, what they would do.
Did you guys come up with that yourselves?
Yeah, I mean,
that's brilliant for New York City moms.
The boys were like little, even when we lived in Utah.
Oh my God, I love this.
And so it's just something, and they love it. They're like, can we play What Would You Do?
That just is such an like, I want to play that as an adult.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's just so, you have to be prepared. I think one of the biggest things in living here with children specifically is you just have to be prepared. You have to be like on alert. Anything could happen at any time, and you have to be prepared. So their little brains, they like know what they would do, and normally their answers are really good. I'm like, wow, good job,
You're like, oh, okay, I feel good about this today.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So obviously, like the youngest doesn't quite understand as well as like Sissy, who's 6, but he still gets it. He knows like, if mom says pineapple, something's going down, I got to get to mom.
Okay, yeah.
So
when they probably like train each other, the oldest will teach
I was thinking that too. Like you would grab your like younger sibling's hand or like whatever.
Totally.
Like
and Diesel's so good. He's such like he's a great big brother. He's very responsible. He's very mature for his age.
Amazing.
And so he's great.
I love that.
Is it kind of just like, do you ever feel, because like, just to give context, when my sister and her 4 and 2-year-old came up to visit around the holidays, Mike and I were carrying them on the subway, down and up. I was sweating, drenched. I was schlepping. We had the stroller too. It just, with 2 kids, felt like a schlep. Does it feel like that? Like, how are you guys getting around the city?
Every day. Every day.
Do you have a car here?
No.
What do you do? This is like a burning question for me.
Yeah.
Like, when you take a taxi or an Uber with like an infant, like, do you have to have your own car seat or like?
Oh yeah.
So this is a burning question.
Okay.
And every parent is different, and that's just what I always say when people ask me on social media, like, what do you do about car seats? What do you do? Every parent is different.
Yeah.
Some parents carry their car seats everywhere and take the car seats, and some
just hold the baby.
They just hold the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
it's New York. You literally have to do what works for you. I'm sorry. It's like it's not built for that. Like
I just think it's a really personal choice that every parent makes depending on their kid's age, how many kids they have, and if they're staying in the city versus like driving on the highway. Or, so.
I really think that Uber needs to have like Uber Baby. Like they have Uber Pet.
They do.
They do?
There are some, but it takes longer.
Okay.
Like, there's just not a ton of Ubers that have car seats, so it definitely does take longer. It's more expensive, and it's just not quite as convenient. But they do in New York. They do. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of those
at least
things.
they have it.
It's
But
like, do what you need to do to get around, and there's a special place in hell for people who judge other people's parenting. Because you don't know. You don't know.
You don't know.
Don't yuck somebody's yum.
But yeah, it's a schlep. You just pack, like I always have a bag with snacks and water and Band-Aids and extra change of clothes, and then we walk a ton. My kids are really great little walkers.
Oh,
and so we walk a ton. They have their scooters, so they'll scooter. We'll walk. We take the subway. We do take taxis and Ubers. Like but it is, It's like physically, it's like a grind to live here. In general, it's a grind.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
But then with kids, it just adds an extra layer.
Yeah. How much extra time do you bake on to like leaving or transportation to just
well, I'm literally late everywhere I go, and it's like the joke on my TikTok. Everyone's like, "You're just a late queen." I'm like, "I'm just late." It's just
with 5 kids, people need to give grace.
We're already late, so honestly, at least you have a reason.
No matter how much I prepare, we're always still 10 to 15 to 20 minutes late.
Working mom,
the 15 to 20 is so real.
Truly, just build in the buffer.
Just expect
it. Yeah.
With any working mom, I'm like, you get to be like
an hour late.
Like you don't even have to come to work. Like just stay, because I know. I mean, I'm late everywhere. Again, 0 kids, but I know when I'm at that point, I'm just gonna.
It's like you try, you do the best you can, but even if you're like have everything packed, waiting by the door, then someone has to go potty, or you know what I mean. Someone like wants to change their outfit, or you know.
I'm just amazed with the fact that you have to like you said earlier, just preparation is key. I feel like you have to be such an organized person to have 5 kids. Like, what is your biggest tip for being organized? Like, and just keeping everybody on top.
I mean, I think just a lot of, like, I prep as much as I can the night before. So, like, lunches are made, snacks are made, water bottles are full and in the fridge, like, outfits are laid out. So I think, like, the more you can do in advance, the better.
Okay.
For sure.
I want to do that.
No, that's a really, really... I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you feel like after quite a few pregnancies, like what do you feel like the most appreciated ways are that David supports you like during a pregnancy?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, right now he's like doing literally everything for me. Like he got my mom out here. So my mom has been here for 2 weeks and she'll be here for another week.
Because, she's here right now?
Yeah, she's here right now. And she's like taking over what I can't do because I'm so sick. But David... when he gets home from work, he's like, okay, go to bed. Like, he, like, brings me water and my vitamins and, like, tucks me in. He's like, I got it. Like, I'll put the kids to bed. Don't even worry about it. Like, in the morning before I even open my eyes, he brings me, like, toast and water. And, like,
sweet.
I know, you guys, he's the best. He's, like, he's a rare little gem. I
don't know how you and David actually met. Because I know you met in Utah. You were both very young. You both had your kids. But we didn't actually ask you how you physically, like, so, for the single ladies out there, how do you find a man like
a
David?
gem like David?
How do you find a David?
I know, he literally is the best. We met through friends, so I knew of him. I knew who he was. He had, like, the reputation of being, like, just a bachelor, like, doing his thing, just, like, you know.
They all do.
I know. So he was, like, the bachelor of Salt Lake City, so I knew who he was.
Yeah.
But I was out with some of my girlfriends, and some of my friends were friends with some of his friends, so we were all out. We were, like, at a bar grabbing drinks before we were going to, like, a club show. I think Steve Aoki was performing, and we were, like, going to that.
Fun.
And so it was just, like, I showed up with some of my girlfriends, and I saw him, and then he, like, came up to me. We ended up sitting by each other at the bar and just, like, chatting. And then when we went over to the club, he was just, like, hanging around me a lot. And then towards the end of the night, he was like, I want to take you on a date. And I was like, okay,
whatever.
Like, sure. You want a date? Yeah. And he's like, no, like a proper date. Like, I want to come pick you up and, like, I want to take you on a date.
Oh,
and I was like,
the bar is high because they don't know.
I know. And I was like, and I had just been, like, hanging out with guys who were like, hey, let's hang out. Like, come over.
Yeah.
You
watch
know?
a movie.
Yeah. And so he's like, no, like a real date. And I was like, okay, we'll see. So I, like, gave him my number, and then he, like, followed through. He was like, okay, like.
No, like, I was serious.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing this weekend?
And
let's go on a date.
That's where you got to know each other.
Yeah, so actually that same group of friends went to Vegas like 2 weekends later, and he was there, I was there, like all our friends were there, and it was a crazy weekend. So fun, but just crazy. And then it was actually like he had flown to Vegas, but then he was driving home with like some of our friends. And so we ended up like in the same car, and we were sitting next to each other. And it was like that 6-hour drive from Vegas to Utah that like we just like talked the whole time. And that's when I found out that he had a child, and he found out that I had been through a really bad divorce, and we just kind of like opened up to each other. And then after that, we got home, and the next couple days, he would text me, and then he was like, I want to take you to dinner. Like, I loved getting to know you. And it's like, okay. So then we like went on a couple dates, and then started like dating. Like dating. It moved so fast. Like,
I love
crazy fast.
But like right place, right time.
Yeah. And I think we both just knew.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's like so cliche when you know, but like we really knew. We were
but like that's sweet.
This is the real deal.
I think it's also like when you already know what you don't want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's easier to find what you do.
And you had that bad divorce. Like, if you don't mind us asking, like, what? I mean, that could be a whole episode, I feel like. But how did you know, it was really time to just get out of that relationship? Like, what made you?
Yeah, I mean, it was easy to know. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
There was like things that went down that made it very
clear.
Well, and how old were you when you?
I was 21 when we got divorced. 22.
Wow.
Oh, so younger when you even got married.
I was. I think I had just turned.
Which, like, correct me if I'm wrong. That's like very of the norm. Like,
yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We dated from like 18 to 20. I got married at 20 and then divorced at 22.
Do you feel like that was like an expectation? Like when you get to that age, it's like, okay,
it's
so
just
like
what everyone's doing. And we had dated in high school, and then it was just like he had gone on a Mormon mission, and we like wrote, because you can't like speak or anything, so we like emailed for 2 years, and then it's like, but while he was gone, I was like planning my wedding with his mom, like, and I hadn't seen him in 2 years. But
like this is like normal.
It's 100% normal.
Wow.
Like no one was like, oh my gosh, this is weird, or like, why are you planning your wedding? Like it was like, of course you're planning your wedding. Like he's gonna come back, you guys get married. Like that's just what
that's what's happening.
What you do.
Yeah.
And then,
that's you like have lived so many lives.
And
that's like
no, like, and Utah. I like need to go like observe Utah because that's just so different.
It's the Mormon culture there is really different.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize it till you're out of it, and then you're like
looking back.
Oh.
Are the blended family members, the parents of your other two kids, are they still there
in Utah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that make it interesting, like bringing everyone to New York City? Because like what a change from how like you grew up
for sure,
to be like, this is the environment I'm putting our kids in now.
For sure. I think that Diesel's dad definitely recognizes the opportunities that are here for Diesel. Like it's so hard for him to be away from Diesel, and I know he wasn't like overly happy about the fact that we were like, hey, we're moving across the country and you're not going to see your son that often, like I think that was extremely hard for him, but he also understood that it was going to be best for Diesel, and Diesel was going to have so many opportunities, and it was just going to be this really cool experience for him. And so he kind of put aside his own stuff in order to let Diesel come. So and we love them. Like we had a horrible divorce. Like I will not sugarcoat that. It was so bad. Like our marriage was really rocky, lots of highs, lots of really low lows, and a really nasty divorce. But now, like, we are in such a good place, and he's remarried and has a daughter. Obviously, David and I are married. We have kids. Like, we love them. We co-parent really well with them.
That makes me want to cry.
We have like a true like family like together. When we were in Utah over Christmas, like we got together and had dinner at their house, and the kids
like
played.
So nice for like Diesel to even be able to see.
It's amazing for
like
Diesel.
Oh,
it's amazing.
But you had to put in the work for that. I just feel like not a lot of like moms get the credit for like getting to that place in their relationship, because like that, I'm assuming for you was like a lot of like, I'm putting my pride aside for my child right now.
Yeah. I had to forgive a lot of things and just move forward, and it's best for Diesel. Yeah. We don't unfortunately have that same relationship with Nixon's mom, and I'm guessing a large part of it is because there was never any feelings there. There was never a relationship. Like they didn't even know each other. Yeah. So our parenting styles, like just everything is opposite. Oh. Like if you just think of us and think of the opposite, and that's them. We just don't have a lot in common other than the fact that we share a child. Yeah. And that's a huge thing to have in common, but we just don't always see eye to eye, and the communication isn't there even though we've tried, and it's hard.
How much
it's really hard.
Does Nixon spend there?
Yeah, so Nixon he like primarily lives there the way that Diesel lives here and goes to school here. Nixon lives there and goes to school there, but then he's there for like 4 weeks and then out here for 2 weeks. 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks. And then he spends half the summer here and then every other holiday.
Is it really hard when you have to send him back? Like,
yeah, it's hard.
I think one of the most admirable things about what you've done, this is, again, why you're just, like, meant to be a mother, is, like, you've never referred to Nixon as, like, your stepchild or half child or whatever. Like, they are your 4 kids. Yeah, and I was like, that, like, you know, we both have divorced parents and stuff. And that's,
but I would, like, lose, like, sorry, but I would lose my shit. Like, someone has for, like, your half sisters, and I'm like, I would like, actually fight you.
Yeah. Like,
I'm like, they're my sisters.
Yeah.
I'm like, do we have beef? Because, like, what?
Yeah. No, that's how our kids have been raised, that we are a family. We are mom, dad, siblings. Like, there's no step, half, whatever. Like, we don't. Yeah.
You don't judge by that. It's like you're a family. Like, I'm all of you. You're all of me. Yeah. There is no separation. There is no, like, this half there, that half there. No. Like, it doesn't work like that. No. Even when the parents can't figure it out, if you're doing a good job with your kids, like, they 100% know that. Yeah. Like, they operate as, like, one union. Like, they're all unified.
Yes.
And absolutely. So that's really beautiful.
Yeah, but it's tricky. I mean, like, it's, co-parenting and blending families, it's not, like, an easy thing. And I never want to be like, oh, yeah, it's just so easy. Like, it's not. It takes work. But our family this is, like, how God created our family. And this is our family. And we love our family. And we want to change it, you know. And we all learn and grow. And it's just, it's how we're
so admirable.
It really is.
It's just beautiful.
It really is.
You guys are so
Thank you for sharing that with us, because I think, like, a lot of people can probably relate. There's like, if you could show me a family where there's no divorce and no blendedness these days, like, let me know.
Also, there's just like no right answer. Like, you just do what works for you.
Yeah.
And like, love your kids.
Yeah. Like, for those of you listening, if you're in that situation but you don't have a good relationship with the blended family, like, that is normal too.
Oh, you know? Absolutely. Yeah,
like,
for
sure. But also aspire to be Christy.
For sure. We all are. I will say, like, I feel like time heals. Like, the more time that goes by, like, I feel like the better and better things get, at least on Diesel's side. Not on Nixon's side. But so I know we honestly have, like, 2 extremes. We have, like, co-parenting where we, like, love each other and we're all, like, in it together and we're, like, a united front. Yeah. And then we have the extreme where, like, there's not a lot of communication and there's a lot of just very different parenting styles. So we live, like, the 2 extremes.
But what's cool is that Nixon will see, like, you guys tried. Like, you know, as kids get older and they gain consciousness more about, like, certain things in life. It's like one thing that as they grow up and, like, learn people's behaviors is that they'll look back and be like, oh, but, like, my parents always tried.
For sure. The effort was always there. Yeah. And whether it was reciprocated on the other end or not, like, at least we tried. Like, we can say that. Like, we really tried.
How can you not get along with Christy?
I know, right?
Sorry. Like,
truly. Okay, so we want to end with a few questions for your Rex in the city.
Okay.
A little. Do it. Okay, so the first one is we want to know.
Let me
sorry, we didn't. We did not brief you at all.
I know, we're so
we
sorry.
Have categories for them, so it'll be easier.
Okay, so we want to know, because you always look so beautiful.
Oh, you're so
What is your go-to for facials in the city? And then if you're, like, gonna do any type of work, like Botox filler or whatever, like, because it is hard to find somewhere.
And you're glowing.
Oh, you guys are so nice. Yeah. Well, I haven't had Botox in a while, and I won't be able to.
Oh, right, because you're pregnant.
Yes, you can't do anything pregnant.
I know. Well, you're glowing. You have the
like
pregnancy
the
glow.
Thing. I'm like, oh, the Botox. But so here in the city, I go to Cool Spa. I see Anastasia. She's amazing. It's on 5th Avenue and, like, 5th and 15th. And she's great. Love her. You can say my name for a little discount.
Oh, on my way.
Yeah, she's great. She does amazing. But I get filler done in like most of, like, my facials and stuff in Utah, because I have a girl there who
smart.
And it's
it's way cheaper.
1/4 of the price.
It's way
Talk about
cheaper.
That is true. Like, I fly home to Charleston and, like, still get my hair cut there.
Yeah. So many people in New York do that. They go back to their hometowns.
A flight and the haircut is still half the price of what the haircut is here.
I just did that because I have been getting my hair done here since we moved here 3 years ago, and it's so expensive. I love Tyler. Shout out Tyler, my hair guy. He is a genius, but it is, like, sickening expensive how much it costs. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Utah for over Christmas break. I need my hair done. I'll just go to my girl there. So here with tip and everything, it's over $1,000 to get my hair done.
Mine's
I
close
guess that
to
makes sense because
Yeah.
to get my hair cut, like I don't get it dyed, is $450 for the cut.
Oh my gosh.
I go to them and I'm like,
insane.
everybody's like, what do you ask for with your hair? And I'm like, honestly, the word low maintenance, because I don't want to come back and I only want to go twice a year because mine's close to $1,000.
Yeah,
Truly.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Wow.
So then I went to Utah, got the same thing. Like literally she did the same exact thing and it was $250.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the cut alone in New York.
I know.
Wow.
Insane.
I guess unless it's my cut, because the 400 really sent me for a loop. I was like,
yeah, that's wild.
it was a great haircut, but in Charleston it's $80.
Well,
like
right.
we can't.
Yeah. No.
400. That's
Yeah, like I'm like, I'll just
No,
go see my
that's
mom for a
insane.
week and
for
get
them
my
to go
hair
snip,
cut.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, just kidding. Not degrading. Like obviously you have
No,
to
I
be
know it's
very
like an art
talented.
for them, but it's like I'm in and
Absolutely,
out
for
in an
sure.
hour and
I'll
some
cut your hair
change.
for 400.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
truly. We'll see who does it better. I'll give you each a half of my head.
Yes.
Give me a couple glasses of wine and give
Oh yeah, the
Christy a
wine.
seltzer.
You want
Yes.
wine?
And like it'll give me the
Absolutely
courage.
not. Don't touch my hair
No,
with wine.
after some wine.
Like that's the last.
that's
No,
the
that's
last
the last thing I would have you do. I need you like laser focused.
Laser, I need
Come
you
on.
Adderall.
I'm gonna give you like a Vyvanse and then you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
opposite.
cool spa for like my cosmetic stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Love
Love
that.
it. It's great.
We know you love like Bubbies with
Yeah.
Sissy. You just posted about that. What are some of your favorite restaurants with the kids?
That are still good.
Yes, kid
And
friendly.
then also without too. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
curious for
good.
myself.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think about this. You
I
guys
know.
are
Yeah, I
putting
know.
me on
Sorry.
the
This
I know,
is
sorry.
And
Oh
honestly,
my
I hate when people
gosh.
ask me New York City restaurant recommendations because it's so vague.
It's hard
It
because
is.
there's so many options and you just don't really know what that person specifically is looking
Yeah.
for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we love La Pecora Bianca. That's like our go-to. It's Italian. It's delicious. It never disappoints. The kids love it.
And
That's
try
a
that
good.
great.
That's a good Italian place
There's-
with kids, though.
Yeah, it's great. And they're really nice. We go to
There's
the one on
one
the Upper West.
Side.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
they like know us because we go there all the time and the kids love it and it's just like very,
Love it.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Chill.
nice.
This one's gonna be controversial.
Whatever.
But my kids love it. My kids love the Smith, and I know the Smith is
Yeah.
like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Smith,
I
but
No.
my
I live in
kids-
Hoboken. I don't know any.
my kids love the Smith, and same thing. Like they're really nice. It's loud in there, and so if my kids are loud, like nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Yeah, the Key is like a loud restaurant.
Yeah.
That is so important. When my sister came up with the two, and her boys are loud as they climb the walls and jump off them. But
Yep.
we went into one restaurant in Hoboken. I won't name the name that Mike and I love, and they turned us down. I really think because we had the boys. It was empty. They go, we don't have anything, and they saw the boys were acting up. And I was like, we'll keep them contained when we sit down.
Yeah.
It was just weird. And then we went across the street to another one that said, yeah, perfect. We'll take
Yeah.
it. It was
Wow.
just, you don't realize until you're with kids, like some restaurants, they don't want them there.
They do.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
discriminate.
They
on
don't want the kids there.
It's
Yeah.
annoying.
That's
Yeah, we
terrible.
love Bubbies. We go down there for brunch a lot. There's a sushi place that we like, Saram. They're so nice to our kids, and it's like nicer, but they're so nice because we go there often, and so even if
That's
our
nice.
kids are like loud or whatever, they're like really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, where else do we go? I don't
okay,
know.
we really
It's
put you on the
okay.
spot.
No,
Put me
that's
on the spot.
perfect.
What about, do you have like a favorite date night spot with David?
Yeah, we love to try like we'll go to like different bars. So we like going to Temple Bar. We like going to the Mulberry.
Oh, yeah.
We love going to like rooftop
Mm.
bars in the summer. We love Veronica. So we'll normally go and do like a dinner and then we'll just go and like hit a couple of like fun bars
Wait,
and
that's
get
so
drinks
fun.
and just chat and
I
be
love
together.
that.
Doing it Saturday.
I love a
Yes.
date night.
Me
I love a
too.
date night.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on.
I loved being here.
No,
Thank you guys so
literally-
much for having me. This was so fun.
This was so fun. Where can everybody find you,
Yes.
follow you, stalk you?
Okay,
Mhm.
well, find me on TikTok at currently Christy Party of 6, but we may change that, so we'll see. But it's Christy Kristii
Two
Party of
eyes.
6, 2 eyes.
Christy, thank you again so much. You are literally the best. You're a light from the heavens above.
You are glowing. We're so excited for you. Oh, and we have something for you.
This is cute.
We're so terrible.
Caroline picked this up on the way.
We have a little gift for a little baby thing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Are you guys serious right now?
No, it's just a cute little book.
And not
Sorry.
wrapping, not the wrapping.
Well, they said,
Oh,
is it a gift?
adorable.
And I said, yeah.
Yeah, adorable.
No, it's
I had
so
time.
cute.
You guys are so sweet.
I
to
said,
get me a
Caroline, get a
gift.
gift.
No, I was looking for specifically the NYC ABC's book, and they like told me they had it, but then they didn't.
Oh my gosh. This
A
is
little-
so
It's
cute.
so she sold me on it because the illustrations were like very colorful and cute.
It's
So she, like, loved them.
beautiful.
Cute.
Oh my
Who's
gosh.
the
And we
reader to the
love
kids?
books.
Oh,
we,
good.
Like, our kids are book kids. Like, we read to our kids every night.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
love
so
that.
important.
That's a good tip
We
too.
read, yes, that's
Yeah.
a good tip. Yeah, we read to our kids every single night. It's like our
Aw.
bedtime routine.
Wait,
Oh, this is
I love that.
beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you guys so
More where that's coming from. 'Cause
Yes.
We're
Oh,
gonna
I love you guys.
harass you to be in our
Thank
lives.
you.
Truly.
Yeah, I would
Thank
love
you.
to. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm always down.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for coming. We can't wait to see what everything like has in store for you over the next few months. And just big stuff
Thank
coming.
you.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, big stuff coming.
And we're excited to follow along. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes. We love you guys and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.